Welcome in to Patriots Today by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show, we are going to answer some of your mailbag questions that you guys sent us on our NFL Daily Show. We had a lot of questions about your New England Patriots and some potential moves that they could be making with the trade deadline coming up in just about a month from right now. We'll answer those questions in a matter of moments. Before we do, make sure to subscribe to Patriots Today for daily Patriots coverage. We're going to be live here on the channel coming up on Sunday for our second watch party of 2023 when your New England Patriots take on the Dallas Cowboys. We will see you then. Sub 4 dubs, and don't miss out on our watch party this weekend here on the channel. CJ writes in with a $5 super chat. Bang! I don't follow college football, but I was wondering what college football team could beat the Jets. How many college teams can beat the Jets? Okay, CJ, thanks for the super chat first and foremost. Secondly, the answer is none. Nobody is beating any NFL team. First off, the Jets aren't even the worst team in the NFL. They beat the Bills with Zach Wilson, for crying out loud. Secondly, no, there's not a single college team that can beat any NFL team. Let's say the Bears, for all intents and purposes. Let's say the Bears are the worst team in the league. The Bears quarterback is Justin Fields, who was an excellent college quarterback at The Ohio State. Justin Fields is better than pretty much every quarterback in college football, maybe not named Caleb Williams. So, no college team is beating the Bears, but I appreciate the super chat. Mike Nintendo Master, who wanted Smitty fired. We're not firing Smitty, despite what Mike wants. Why should I hope the Bears will win a game? Well, you got lucky they're playing the Denver Broncos this week. If there was ever a time for the Bears to pull off a victory, this is as good of an opportunity as you're going to get, is playing Denver. So we'll see. Pressure's on. I do not have high hopes about Eberflus and that organization, but that would be the optimism I would give you, Mike, as you play one of the worst teams in the league. Choppy71 writes, should Andy Dalton start the rest of the year and Young sit? Absolutely not. What? Where did that idea come from? No, you're not sitting Bryce Young. Look, you've already invested this much. He is your future, and you're in a weak division. You actually have a chance to make the postseason potentially. And the best way you can do that is by playing your best quarterback. Bryce Young is your future. Go ahead and throw him out there when he's healthy, when he's ready to go. You don't need to play Andy Dalton if you don't have to play Andy Dalton. No, Bryce Young needs to be your guy. Lou Holtz, the GOAT. Lou Holtz got into it this past weekend with Ryan Day, the Ohio State coach. That was interesting. Lou Holtz, the GOAT, writes, what about a Darnell Moody trade to the New England Patriots? So I got to tell you, it's been interesting looking at this New England Patriots team because they have lacked help when it comes to the receiving core. And we know that they have several good receivers, but not an elite receiver. And as I've talked about many times before, it's no secret that Bill O'Brien has made his case that he wants a top-notch receiver on his team. Mooney would help the cause, and you'd get him out of Chicago. There's a number of guys that I would consider before Mooney, like, Mike Evans, potentially Jerry Jeudy, but that's not a bad idea. We'll see if the Patriots do that, but I would certainly keep an eye on that. If the Patriots can stay in contention, if the season doesn't get away from them, look out for them to be buyers at the deadline, be trying to get that elite receiver potentially. What up, Mooney? What do you think? T for trade, P for pass. Pin comment today. Weigh in. Tell us what you think. Should the Patriots make a move here for Mooney or not? Let us know what you think in the comments section below. T for trade, P for pass. Today's show is presented by Prize Picks. Testing my skills on Prize Picks this football season is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Prize Picks is really simple to play. I can make my picks and submit my entry in less than 60 seconds. With the Power Play payouts, I have the chance to turn $20 into $60 tonight with Prize Picks. I want to show you what piques my interest on Prize Picks this week. What you want to look for is the more or less options. Those tell you the picks that you could be making. And I'm looking for specifically Geno Smith and Brock Purdy to hit the more on their projected total. And then I got a chance to win some cash. And you can too. We are offering viewers of today's show a $100 first deposit match when you use the promo code CLNS. So stop what you're doing. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS for that first deposit match. That's prizepicks.com/CLNS. Code CLNS for daily fantasy sports made easy. Sean Walsh writes in, if Minnesota loses to Carolina this weekend, should they start trading away Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, Hawkinson, and more to start a rebuild? First off, you're not trading Justin Jefferson under any circumstance. Even if you do rebuild and start over there in Minnesota, you're building your team around Justin Jefferson. He's untouchable. You don't move him at all. You give him a new contract. You keep him there. He's too good. He's the best receiver in the league. Cousins, yeah, I could see them trading. Maybe even to the New York Jets potentially. Hodgkinson potentially as well could be on the way out. I think everybody could be on the move except for Justin Jefferson. So we'll see what the Vikings do. They don't look so hot. Last year, I thought they played over expectations. They got really lucky at times. That defense was bad. Now we're starting to see the flip-flop. They're not as bad as their record indicates, but they're not in good position for sure. Logan writes in, do you see the Niners doing any trades before the deadline hits on October 31st? Yes, I do. We know that organization, between Shanahan and Lynch, they are going to be aggressive. Last year they had the best trade of all when they brought in Christian McCaffrey. They were the winners of the trade deadline, and they have a ton of cap space to spend, about $40+ million that they have to work with here. Look out. This is a team that could be making a move there at the deadline with all that money they have to spend. They're trying to compete. They're trying to play at a high level. Don't rule out the Niners making a move. All right, Tyler Smith. Smitty is here with me. He's on the ones and twos, and you hear him on our watch parties that we do here. And he also joins me on our live shows and all that. And Brew Crew had a question for Smitty. What is Smitty's hot take for this season? Smitty, lay it on him.
All right, Brew Crew, thanks for sending in a question. Taylor, for me specifically, never had that before on one of these mailbags. I'm on the ones and twos, but I'm happy to answer with my hot take for the NFL season. I'm going to go with, and this is a hot take considering we just talked about the potential Niners reloading at the trade deadline. I believe the Seattle Seahawks will win the NFC West. A crazy, but yet a little realistic take. They don't play the Niners for a long time until about Thanksgiving, and they play them 2 times in 3 weeks. Is kind of crazy for Seattle toward the end of the season. But I think they're out for revenge. The roster got better. Geno Smith looks like he did last year over the first 9 weeks of the season rather than the last 8. So I'm very excited to see what the Seattle Seahawks can do, and I think that there's a little bit of a grudge going on. They lost in San Fran 3 times last season. So this year they're out for blood. I think they're going to win the NFC West. And, yeah, there's my hot take for the season. Thank you, Brew Crew. Appreciate it.
Brew Crew, thanks for sending that question for Smitty. His hot take. He is all in on those Seattle Seahawks. I got to tell you, I like the Seattle team too, but they got their work cut out for them with the San Francisco in that division. I would expect that season series is probably split. Both those teams are too good, I think, to sweep one or the other, but we'll see. Robert Bruce writes in, do you think the Patriots have the best running back tandem? Ramondre Stevenson with over 1,100 yards last year, and Zeke looks great. He's in great shape. Potentially speaking, I don't know that for certain, but it is one of the better running back rooms. And I got to say, I'll be honest, Robert, I'm surprised at the way Zeke has looked at this point. There was this thought going into 2023 that Zeke had lost his step, that he was cooked. But what we've seen is Zeke looks fine. Maybe he's not as fast as he once was, but he's not slow. I've been impressed with Zeke. We know Ramondre Stevenson's a very good running back. Good 1-2 punch there. Patriots want to establish the run to open up the passing game. If that O-line can just get them a little bit of help, Patriots can be a sneaky good football team here. But yes, I do like that running back room. Don't think I'd call them the best in the league, but they're in, I would say, probably the top 5. Epic Jet writes in, do you think the next 5 to 8 years we will see an NFL team relocate or the NFL expand? Absolutely, I do. I don't know exactly where that would be, but if we're thinking, let's say in the U.S., San Antonio comes to mind, although Jerry Jones is probably going to try to do whatever he can to stop that from happening of another team in the state of Texas. I know San Diego would love to have a team again. Portland comes to mind. St. Louis would love to have a team again, but I don't know why that dumpster city would be awarded another NFL team, quite frankly. Dallas and Chicago would probably love to make a case for a second NFL team in those markets. I know the Dallas mayor, Eric Johnson, has made a strong case for that potentially. You think internationally, what would have to happen is you can't just go to one city in Europe if you're going to expand. You have to basically create their own division out there. So I would expect NFL expansion eventually is going to happen in Europe, but you got to have the resources for 4 teams essentially at the same time. London, Paris, Munich, Berlin, maybe Rome. I don't know. I mean, like, pick your 4 favorite cities in Europe. That's what it would have to happen. But, yeah, I do see expansion and some relocations happening. We'll see what it looks like, but take some time. Ryan Day is lame. I agree. That speech he had was horrible after they beat Notre Dame. That was pathetic. I agree, Ryan Day is lame. Could the Patriots trade for Hunter Renfrow? I don't think anyone wants to trade for Hunter Renfrow right now. He doesn't have much of a marketplace. From what we've heard, not a whole lot of teams want to give up draft capital for Hunter Renfrow. I think Renfrow's a pretty decent receiver, but sooner than later, if nobody trades for him, the Raiders just might cut him and you could get him for free. He does feel like a Patriots receiver, though. Think about all the short white receivers they've had over the years, from Wes Welker to Danny Amendola, Julian Edelman. Who am I missing? I think I hit the heavy hitters. Chris Hogan is another one. Hunter Renfrow, I think even if I were to go back a couple of years ago, I believe he did an interview with, Pardon My Take, and he told PFT that he expected to be, he signed something that said future Patriots wide receiver Hunter Renfrow. So it's destiny. It's meant to happen at some point, but I wouldn't expect the Patriots to give up much, if anything at all, right now. They could probably have him for free sooner than later. Should the Patriots trade for Hunter Renfrow? We know they need receiver help. What about Renfrow? Y for yes, in for no. Weigh in. Tell us what you think if the Patriots should trade for him or not. Subscribe to Chat Sports for the latest happenings around the National Football League. We got you covered each and every day. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us.